What's up? What's up? Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Apple Home Talk Live. Testing the audio here. How's everybody doing? It's so good to be back. I hope you're doing well and having a good week so far. This is a live stream all about building a smart home, primarily in the Apple Home ecosystem, but we dabble a little bit all over the place. How's everybody doing? Let's jump in the chat real quick and say hi to some folks, and then we'll get rolling today. I see questions coming in already. All right, nice. So today today's going to be kind of a laid back one. We'll see kind of how the weather's kind of crazy all over the place. So this might be a laid back, chill live stream. And I'm not sure how many people will get in here today, but we'll answer some questions and just hang out for a bit and talk about our smart home. So let's say hi to some folks first real quick. What's up, Torin? 2727. Hope you're doing well. Not so smart home. I love it. Everyone, I hope everyone is doing great. Yes, I am doing well here. Thump Jimmy, what's up? Tom H, Austin, Texas in the house. Awesome American. We got Australia here. Lone Star Trent. What's going on, Lone Star Trent? Let's see where we got. Let me know where you're from. Georgia in the house. What's up, Jeff from Georgia? Pokemon Master. What's going on? Good to see you here. Once again, hope you had a good Happy New Year as well. Ohio is here checking in. Cold and soon to be snowy. Yes, I'm sure if it's getting cold and potentially snowy here where I live, it's cold everywhere. Yeah, as you guys may know, Jeff, what's up, Jeff from Michigan here. Juan, what's up, Juan? Virginia, sure it's getting cold there as well. Yeah, so some of you may know I am based in South Carolina. Usually it actually was like really pleasant weather today. I mean, I don't know what it was actually today, but I mean, it was warm, nice and warm outside. But we've got this snowstorm or ice storm, whatever, this cold front coming through the southeast pretty soon. So everyone around here, of course, is like freaking out. Actually, Caroline, my wife, I think she's at the store right now, stocking up on groceries. Everybody's probably running wild right now. But, where are you guys from? I know some of y'all are used to the snow. We're not here. Pump up the volume a bit. Okay. Is the volume low? Let me know. Is the volume low? Maybe I bring my mic a little closer. How's the volume, guys? Let me know. Orleans, what's going on, Orleans? Florida is a bit windy and in the 70s. Edgar, what's up, Edgar? Good to see you here, man. Hope all is well. Congratulations, by the way. Recent engagement. That was really awesome to see, man. Got to hang out with Edgar some at the recent CES show. George is in the house. What's up, George? Says I got 65 of them set up, remaining 40 to come tomorrow. Definitely a nice upgrade. I missed the initial comment there, but I can only assume George is talking about the Nanoleaf display boxes, because George texted me, what was that, yesterday? Or actually, his wife texted us and said, I think was partially blaming me for the crazy mess in George's living room there. George has got a massive shoe collection, and I'm very excited to see the final setup there with those. That's an insane. So you got 65 set up and 40 to go. That is crazy. So over 100 boxes, if my math is correct there, of shoe boxes. That's going to be insane. Volume is lower than usual, but not bad. Okay, appreciate it. I can bump it up a little bit. Let's see. Bump it up a little bit. Hopefully that's not too loud. Don't want to blast you guys away. Let me know if I need to make any more adjustments. Pittsburgh in the house. What's up, Green Arrow? Edgar said, thank you. I kept it hidden from the group to make sure no one spilled the news. Yeah. I was aware. I can't remember if you or somehow I think somebody let me know it was happening, but I made sure not to say anything. That's really exciting. What a cool way to end to finish off your first CES, which I'm only sure was exciting and fun. To do something like that more on a personal level, really awesome. Louder, please. We need it louder. Let's see. All right. All right. Let me know how we're sounding. Let me know how we're sounding. Let's see. Test. Oh, you know what? I wonder if, can you guys, are y'all hearing that? I wonder if it's my microphone. Sound pretty decent? Okay, well, we're gonna roll with it. I'm getting some people saying it sounds pretty decent, so I guess we'll just roll with it. Mic is dead. It's not dead. Let's see. Test. Sounds fine. Okay, well, you guys can say you hear me. Sounds fine. Carl says sounds fine. Sounds great. All right, we're gonna roll with it. So yeah, let's do some questions today. I'm just gonna answer questions and hang out a little bit. There's not a whole lot in the news from last week. Obviously, there was a ton of stuff coming out of CES. You know, the first week in January. We talked about a lot of that last week. I did my CES video. There's been a ton of other CES videos from other creators as well. So a lot of news kind of there earlier in the month, a couple weeks ago. Obviously, happy to talk about any of that if you guys want to discuss anything in particular or have questions about anything. But yeah, we're gonna just hang out. Again, not really a lot of news since last week. There were some small Apple announcements we talked about last week. But yeah, nothing really since then. So let's just kind of get to it, and you guys ask questions if you would do like Richard or like Rich Matthew did, and preface your comment with the word question. If you have a specific question for me, and that way I can flag it, and we'll come back to the questions as much as I can. Thank you guys too for the feedback. I don't know if we were having some audio issues or what there. But yeah, it might be something going on with my microphone. It looks like everything's connected fine, but who knows with these live streams. Let's see. Let me save some of these questions here. Hey, Shane, love the channel. And this is from T Gardon. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It says, love the channel, all your info. You have mentioned about cigars before on your channel and podcast. What kind of cigars do you smoke? So I typically like Maduro cigars, or kind of on the darker side. Not really any specific brand. I've only been into them for maybe a couple of years, probably like 2 or 3 years at this point. So still just kind of learning what I like. I do have a few that I probably couldn't even tell you the brand name. That I kind of go to each time, but I not too long ago actually signed up for a little membership at the local cigar shop here in town, which I like, and they send me, I think it's 3 new cigars every month, and they kind of hand select different ones and different types. A lot of times they'll do, come out. They'll try to send like new ones, and anyways, it just gives me kind of like a little variety. So I've just been kind of doing that for a little while and just trying different ones, and that's been plenty for me, because I might maybe on an active week or two I might do like more than one a week, but usually don't do more than one a week, if that. So I've been just doing that and kind of testing different ones and kind of seeing what I like. There's this, I think it's like a coffee infused one that I really like, that I've been kind of going back to. But yeah, I've just like trying different ones. I do typically like darker ones. I like black coffee, whiskey, that kind of thing. So that kind of makes sense. But yeah, and I think this was I don't know if we need Eric, Modern Day Tech, in the chat. I don't think he's here today, but think this might be the first CES that I did not smoke a cigar while I was in Vegas. Usually I try to make it a point to at least sit down and have one cigar while I'm out there in Vegas. And usually Eric from Modern Day Tech, some of you guys might know, is right there with me doing that. But I actually took some with me, and I just don't think just had the right time or whatever to sit down and have one while I was out there. So yeah, kind of a nice little pastime. I enjoy a good cigar from time to time. All right, I see some questions coming in. They are rolling in, so bear with me, guys, and I will save these, everything I see with the word question, and I'm gonna try to answer as many too. And speaking of the podcast started back up this week, so if you guys are interested in more of the behind the scenes look at my life and my wife and just the whole, more of a daily life, our marriage, family, but also a lot of smart home and tech stuff, check out the podcast. There should be a link in the live stream description. We just released our first one this week after a short little break. So it was probably 3, maybe 4 weeks. We had a little break over the holidays, and of course going out to CES. So the latest episode, actually, we discuss a whole lot of the kind of behind the scenes part of CES and what that whole trip is like as a content creator, as a spouse. My wife has gone this was the 3rd year that she went, and she's not really a tech enthusiast like I am. So we get her perspective, her point of view, and we just kind of share a lot of the sort of behind the scenes of what that whole trip was like this year. And it was a lot of fun. Let's see. Please ask your question once. I am flagging them, and I will come back to all the questions, and we'll answer as many as we can today here. John Wolf, what's going on? John K. Wolf. Let's see. All right, let's get to some of these questions. Does anyone automate the bathroom fan? Andy asked. I know a lot of people that do. I personally have not done this. It just hasn't really been a huge priority. I know a lot of people will just change out their smart switch and automate the bathroom fan that way. There is this, let me pull up Amazon. I'm going to show you this. I'm trying to remember the name of that company. Is it Orion? There's actually a Matter-enabled bathroom fan. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I have not tried this, but this is a whole fan replacement here. It's a 4-in-1 Matter smart bathroom exhaust fan with a light and a speaker built into it. So there's a lot going on with this. And it's under $300, it looks like. And they say Matter support, so I assume at least the fan, hopefully the light maybe, is exposed to Matter. I don't know if anybody's tried this. Let us know in the chat what that's all about. Pretty interesting. I think this is the only one of these that I've seen. But that's one way you could do it, I suppose. Again, I haven't done that. I know a lot of people will just change out the switch to a smart switch. I haven't done that. Lutron just released a new humidity switch that they actually gave me one at CES. Let me see if I can find this online, because it's a new, yeah, here it is right here. So this was just released at CES, and I'm thinking about maybe trying one of these. Again, automating the bathroom fan has not been a huge priority for me. This is not a Lutron Caseta product. So this doesn't connect to your smart home like the Caseta switches do. It's just kind of a standalone switch, but it does have a lot of smarts built into it, and you can kind of program it and stuff somehow. I'm not really sure how, because I haven't tried it yet, but it basically, it's a lot of sensors built in that take into account the relative humidity and stuff like that in your bathroom and in your area, your region, and it will automatically turn the fan on when it needs to, when it detects higher humidity levels. So that's something that's kind of cool. And sometimes, I don't know, sometimes it's just easier to go simple. Like I said, that doesn't connect to your smart home, but maybe you really don't need it to. I actually have a few of the Lutron, the motion light switches that don't connect to your smart home either. They're just, you know, motion is detected, turn the light on. Very simple. I have some of those for my closets here and there. And again, sometimes it's simple to go, or better to go simple, but some options there, I suppose. Let me see. Sorry, I'm jumping back and forth between a couple of different chats. Greg celebrating 51 months of membership. Thank you, Greg, so much for being a channel member and supporting the channel for 51 months, man. I appreciate that. Greg says, any general tips on how to successfully get a Matter device into a second platform if having troubles? So there's a lot of things to look at here, Greg. I know there's been some comments on our Discord server a little bit about this, I believe, and Matter is one of those things that can be a little bit tricky. So I guess my first question, there's different things to go through. My first question would typically be, do you have other Matter accessories that you've successfully used in different platforms? It's almost always going to be some sort of issue or setting or something like that in your network that's probably preventing you from being able to share that accessory or commission that accessory in another ecosystem. But you know, IPv6 has to be enabled, of course, on your router or on your network. And then you know, there's some other settings that you might want to look at that could affect it in your router, but you know, it's probably network related when it comes to Matter. And again, if you've shared, I mean, it could also be the device thing, but if you've successfully done this with other Matter devices, then maybe it's just a device thing. You know, not all devices are created equal. Sometimes some just commission better and easier than others. With Matter, I do have some that I've had to just like try over and over again until it successfully pairs up for whatever reason. So it's a tough thing to kind of troubleshoot, but yeah, I don't know how much help that was, but yeah, to the point there, Lone Star Trent mentions, you do have to, once you put the Matter device in one ecosystem, the initial Matter QR code doesn't work in the other ecosystems. You have to then put the device in pairing mode from that ecosystem, like from Apple Home. So say you set it up in Apple Home, you want to share it somewhere else, you have to go into the settings in Apple Home, put it in pairing mode, and then copy that new code from the Apple Home app and add that in the other ecosystem. I hope that makes sense. It's yeah, it can be daunting sometimes. I know. Depending, again, it's often network related. What's up, B Valence? B Valence just became a member. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Also, Dan Greenberg. Appreciate you guys joining as channel members. So as a channel member, you get access to that member Discord that you've heard us talking about. All you have to do is link your YouTube account in Discord. Discord is free. If you don't already use it, you can set up a new account over there in the Discord app or on the Discord website. Just create a free account there and then link your YouTube account and you'll get access to my member server. Also, I do some behind the scenes videos and stuff like that. Sometimes we do early access to new videos and things over on the YouTube channel. And then also we do a monthly video chat over in Discord as well as a channel member. And also you get these monthly member chats, which you're seeing here in the chat sometimes, which I always forget to mention that. So all right, let's see if we got some more questions here. I'm going to try to go down the list. I've got some saved, quite a few. DM Boyd 82 says, I recently got into Apple Home. I'm thinking about getting a UniFi Dream router with 2 Express 7s to create a mesh system. Is this a system you would recommend? So let's see. I am a big fan of UniFi stuff. Let me pull up the UniFi store. Wi-Fi. I have not used the Express 7s myself. So you said I'm thinking of getting a UniFi Dream router with 2 Express 7s to create a mesh system. So I'm not, and there's probably some people who are more experts at UniFi in this chat than I am. I am not a UniFi expert, but it looks like the Express 7, and they've got so many products now, it's kind of hard to keep up, honestly. But I think yeah, Frederick is the man to ask. Yeah, Frederick's not here today, actually, unfortunately, but the Express 7, I think, is a cloud gateway, it looks like. So this is the Express 7. So I don't think that would probably be what you need. That's a cloud gateway. So if you're getting the Dream machine, you would then need some access points. And I don't think the Express 7 would be what you would need. So you would need some access. If you can wire some access points, that's definitely the way to go, but I know it might be hard to wire them. You want to create a mesh system. So, oh, you can use it in AP mode. Okay, thank you, Nate. So you could use the Express 7s in, would that be the best route? Okay, Dan says they can be used. So would that be the best method to create a mesh system? I have, my experience is mainly just wiring all my UniFi system is all wired. So I haven't really messed around or looked too deep into the wireless. George says, yeah, that's right, because George couldn't wire his stuff. George says, I tried that exact setup several times. It's been horrible each time. The Express 7s are horrible for mesh. Wire if you can. I think I've heard that from other people as well, come to think of it. The regular APs can be used in mesh too. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate you guys. Because I wasn't 100% sure on that. I was thinking that was the case. But again, all my stuff is wired, so I have not tried this. Yeah, no separate wireless backhaul with UniFi. Good point there. Thank you. And Rob just says just buy APs, no dedicated backhaul. Yeah, so I don't know. There's some pretty dedicated UniFi fans out there. They might not like it if I say this, but if you want just a wireless mesh system, it might just be better to get one of the other ones out of the box, like Netgear Orbi or maybe the TP-Link Deco, some of those that do come with the dedicated wireless backhaul. Those are definitely easier to set up and configure. I mean, you don't have all the options and the control that you do with UniFi, but they're easy to set up. The wireless backhaul is typically really good. I don't know, just my 2 cents there. If I couldn't wire everything, that might be what I would do. But Cody says UniFi Express and 2 APs here, just the basic cheapest Cloud Express 2 seems to work fine. My ISP is horrible though. Thank you for sharing that. So is yours all wireless? Are you connecting wireless that way? Linksys, Velop, yeah, Satum 31. So yeah, I used Linksys for a while back also. That's another good one. So yeah, if you go wire, it is nice to look for something with a wireless, a dedicated wireless backhaul if you can't wire your APs and stuff to your main router. That would probably be a good thing. Green Arrow, so yeah, Eero's another one. Thank you. I forget about Eero. Eero's got some pretty nice stuff. They are owned by Amazon though, but as long as you're okay with that. Green Arrow says easy and it works just fine for normal civilian use. I know about the Amazon thing and it doesn't bother me. Yeah. So again, I think for your everyday, it just depends how deep down the rabbit hole you want to go as far as whether or not you really need something like UniFi. I do like having it because I got to a point where I was just doing so much on my network, always testing and trying out new products and stuff for the YouTube channel, moving things around, switching things out. It really became a point where having that extra control was nice for me. But if I wasn't doing YouTube and constantly changing out stuff on my network all the time, to be honest with you, I don't really know that I would have needed to go with UniFi, because it does just add, there's a bit of a learning curve, I guess. But it is really nice to have, with that said. So I guess it depends. But anytime this is just me speaking, this is my personal opinion, but if I'm setting up something for, my parents or even like most of my friends, which I have helped out, or my friends' parents and things like that, I'm usually just going to use one of the out-of-the-box mesh Wi-Fi systems that's just easy to connect wirelessly. They have that dedicated wireless backhaul, get app control, good to go that way. So it kind of depends on what your goals are, I think. Oh, nice. The U7 Pro outdoor for the new house. That'll be nice. Okay, next question. Rich Matthews says, can you share more details about the new Aqara doorbell at CES? Not the G410. Will there be a battery version or wired only? Yeah, let's see if we can find some info on that officially. Oh, it's not on that one. Not seeing it on there. Let's see. It might be. They actually first announced that at IFA in Berlin. Let's see. We're getting there. Home security. So it's the G400. It's this one right here. Yeah, this was first announced at IFA. Enhanced security, energy efficient. I don't know how much details are given us on here. I'm pretty sure it's wired only, because that's a big reason why the size is different. So it's obviously a lot more narrow and it's not as big. All the other Aqara doorbells take a bunch of batteries, which is the main reason why it's so big. So I think this one, well, it even says right there wired. So this one's going to be hardwired only. So you can wire it to your existing doorbell, and see, it says offers always on surveillance at the front door, designed for uninterrupted use. It's IP65 rated. Oh yeah, that's right. It can also be powered via PoE, which is really nice for some people. I mean, if you're lucky enough to have Ethernet at your doorbell, that is awesome. But you could also use your low voltage power supply, like for your doorbell wiring. 2K sensor, head to toe coverage. That's another thing I like about this one, or I'm excited about, is that there's a better head to toe, better vertical feed on this one than the other Aqara doorbells. Let's see. AI capabilities, face package vehicle, animal detection, on-device motion and person detection, HomeKit secure video support, all the voice assistants. So yeah, that's more information on that one. And there's not a whole lot of information out yet, because, but looks like that's what we know. And I don't think they told us anything new at CES about that, but I think I mentioned in my video, they have so many products coming out, it's hard to remember what's what and when they're being released, but I think they said that one's going to be released, should be expected in the first half of the year. I can't remember if they said Q1 or first half, but we should be getting pretty close to that one. All right. Does anyone have any issues with the LaFair presence sensor that stops responding in Apple Home after some time, and the only solution is to remove the battery and insert it again? I don't know if anybody has the LaFair sensor and has any experience with that. Mine has been working lately. I haven't had any issues with it that I'm aware of. I just have an automation set up that controls the lights, and so far have not had any issues with that. That's the LaFair presence sensor. I think they're supposed to have an updated one of those coming out too sometime this year. Larry says, I just posted a story here about the Apple AI pen. What do you think about it? What do you think it means for Apple Home? It's from Mac Rumors. Y'all know how I feel about those about rumors, not Mac Rumors specifically. I don't even know about this. Let's check it out together. So, according to Mac Rumors, Apple is working on a small wearable AI pen equipped with multiple cameras, a speaker, microphones, reports the information. If it actually launches, the AI pen will likely run the new Siri chatbot that Apple plans to unveil in iOS 27. The pen is said to be similar size as an AirTag with a thin, flat, circular disc shape, has an aluminum and glass shell, and 2 cameras on the front, standard lens, and a wide-angle lens that are meant to capture photos and videos, while 3 microphones are designed to pick up the sound around the wear and included. I'm just going to stop there. This device, in my humble opinion, is not coming out anytime soon. That's my opinion. What do you guys think? If you watch these live streams or watch my channel enough, you probably know how I feel about rumors. This probably is somewhere being developed or being considered maybe within Apple. It's the first time I've seen it, but I don't think this is coming out anytime soon. I am shocked. I would be very surprised to see Apple release a wearable camera with microphones and all that built into it. I highly doubt that's coming soon. What do you guys think? Rob says not a chance. Rumors, man, they're just all day, every day. Who knows what's going on? But I don't think that's happening. Not anytime soon anyways. There is definitely a big market for this. We've seen a lot of these types of devices. Hell, I was even wearing one. I was wearing the Plaud AI pen when I was at CES. There's a big market. I've seen a lot of companies making these types of products, not necessarily with the camera built in, but the microphones and stuff. I just really don't think Apple is going to release something like that. Maybe they're working on something like that because of the market and seeing where it'll go, but I don't think it'll happen. Let's see. Yeah, Tom said 0 chance of that in the next 10 years. Yeah, probably not. Okay, it's cool. Jeff says, I use B AI. Very happy with it. Audio only. I'm not familiar with that one. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I've seen a lot of the audio ones. Like Plaud is kind of one of the more well-known ones. Switchbot actually showcased one that they're coming out with. Very similar type of product, audio only. I've only seen like 1 or 2 that have like a camera built in that kind of can recapture your day. But there's been a lot of the audio only ones out there. All right. Are all Wave made the same? I'm mostly interested in them being able to distinguish between people and pets. No, they're not. Not all millimeter wave is the same. There are different levels that you can purchase. Like some millimeter wave sensors, like which one was it? The Third Reality one, I think. I made a video on it. It was like the first battery powered millimeter wave sensor. I got really excited because I saw a millimeter wave, and that's kind of when I learned that, okay, just because it's millimeter wave doesn't necessarily mean it's a true presence sensor. So no, they're not all made the same. As far as distinguishing between people and pets, I don't really think I don't know that there's anything you can do about that. I mean, with smaller animals and stuff like that, yes, probably. But if you have like larger dogs and stuff, I think that will probably be an issue regardless of the millimeter wave sensor you're using. And that's just because of the technology that the way millimeter wave works. A large animal is probably going to trigger the sensor no matter what. It's not like it's not like these like an AI camera, for example, that has like AI processing that can determine the difference between an animal and a human. They don't have that kind of capability. So I don't know. I have heard of one or two of these like motion sensors or presence sensors that supposedly can detect the difference between animals and humans. I've never used one or tested one that has successfully been able to do that. Yeah, so Jeff says need millimeter wave with AI analysis to be accurate. So yeah, maybe they've got some that have some sort of AI processing in there that can be able to determine the difference, but millimeter wave on its own cannot. So yeah, from what I understand. Yeah, right. So yeah, something like a Dalmatian, like Tom mentions here, will get picked up every time. Like I was talking about the LaFair sensor we just mentioned. I have that set up in my kitchen to automate the cabinet lights, and I've got a couple of pit bulls, and every time one of them goes in there, it does trigger that because even they're big enough to trigger that. And I could probably try to position the sensor a little bit better. It's not a huge deal for me because it's not like my main lights, and then they go off when there's no present, so it's not a huge deal. But you could try to get strategic about placement and stuff like that. But that's kind of all you can do with the sensor like that. Follow up there, Larry says, I wasn't asking if you thought it would come out, but is it something like if something like this does come out, how would it be useful with ultra wideband for you to walk around, interact with your smart home? I mean, I don't know if I'm just I try not to be like cynical and stuff about all the rumors, but it's just constant, rumors. And it is fun to kind of look at like what if and what could be and stuff like that. But at this point, like Apple hasn't even gotten Siri right yet. Sorry if I just triggered your, your Apple devices, but they've got a lot of work to do on what we have now, I think, in Apple Home. And I am looking forward to seeing what they do with the smart home here very soon. Hopefully this year. But in terms of like, and you mentioned ultra wideband, like that doesn't really, that could be I mean, you already have ultra wideband in your phone, in your Apple Watch. You don't really need a separate device to wear around. And I've been talking about ultra wideband for years, honestly, and like how it could be utilized in the smart home to really do some impressive things if they ever utilize it. It's in obviously your home pod. So like, let's say you have a home pod in every room. I mean, they could probably do something like this now, maybe, if they wanted to, but let's just say you have a home pod in every bedroom, and then you have your Apple Watch on you, which has ultra wideband built into it. It could, kind of triangulate between all these ultra wideband chips and determine pretty accurately where you are in your house, at least what room you're in, which direction you're moving and stuff like that. So does seem like there would be great smart home application there for utilizing ultra wideband. We haven't really seen that produced on a large scale yet, other than the ultra wideband unlocking on the smart lock. And with that said, that is hands down become my favorite smart lock that I've used in a long time. I talked about it in my recent video. The Aqara U400 lock it's the first lock that supports Apple's ultra wideband unlocking, and it's incredible. I mean, it works so well for me. I love that. So there's definitely a large application and great use cases for ultra wideband in the smart home. They just have to kind of build that in and enable it. Yeah, I would love to see something like that. It would it would probably make some of these presence and motion based automations a little bit smoother. Thomas said, but with a pin, you could differentiate between who's wearing it. Also, add Bluetooth in the mix so you can control things by walking to the. Yeah, but again, if you're wearing an Apple Watch or you have an iPhone, same thing. You could differentiate who's Apple Watch and who's moving around the house and stuff, and build automations based off of that, I think. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they ever do anything with it. Republic Dominic, I'll answer this question. I've seen it pop up a bunch of times. I've got the questions saved, guys. I'm going to try to get to as many questions as I can. So I do save them, and I'm going to come back to them. But I'll go ahead and answer this one. It says, what contact sensors do you use for your doors and windows? So for me, yeah, Larry, no, I appreciate the question. It's a good question. And I really, I just, all the rumors and stuff is just like a little much sometimes, but I would love to see ultra wideband used more, back to that in the smart home. I've seen some really cool stuff, like some startups and things like that over the years where they are utilizing it. There's some incredible capabilities there. If Apple could really just like tie into that, would be amazing. And maybe they will eventually, maybe that's, what we're starting to see with the ultra wideband locks. I don't know, but definitely some really cool stuff that they can do with that. So I appreciate that question. That was a good one. But Republic Bohemia says, what contact sensors do you use for your doors and windows? So my go-to typically just for automation purposes is the Aqara Zigbee door and window sensors. I've been using them for years. They're cheap, affordable. The battery life, they last forever. So that's my go-to for most things, just to automate doors, windows, and stuff around the house. Now, for my main doors, like my front door, back door, garage door, stuff like that, for that I need to tie into my security system, I am using the Abode contact sensors just because they tie into my security system. But just for regular doors that I just want like to automate, when the door is open and stuff like that, I always use the Aqara ones. I did recently connect, I think it was the Third Reality contact sensor. That's a Zigbee based contact sensor too. So I tend to like Zigbee sensors. The batteries last really. In fact, I think all the ones I just mentioned are probably Zigbee based, but they just last. The batteries last a really long time. They're reliable, and typically pretty affordable. So that's what I use. Are the IKEA sensors any good? I have not used any yet. So I'm thinking about maybe taking a trip to IKEA one day and seeing, if I can get some. It might be a fun little road trip one day. I don't have an IKEA near me, but I haven't used them yet. All the IKEA sensors and the new IKEA stuff is Matter over Thread. So those are not Zigbee or anything else. Those are Matter over Thread. And then we got another question. Not So Smart Home says, does anyone have any input on the IKEA Matter water sensor? Thinking of buying a bunch. Is that one of the new? Must be the. I think all the new IKEA Matter stuff is Matter over Thread. So what I kind of don't like about this is when I looked at this before, they don't really show that it's thread. So people that don't know the difference probably could have a hard time. It does say built on the Open Matter standard, but they don't say the protocol, I don't think, in here. But I know that they're Matter over Thread, all their new stuff. But some people might not know that, Um, I like Thread in many cases. It's to me, I've had probably better reliability with Zigbee stuff over the years. I really like Thread for some things, but I use a little bit of both. So, and the IKEA stuff is super affordable. So I don't know. I might need to take a trip. You guys want to see me make a video maybe about the IKEA stuff? It might be worth checking out because they're just so affordable. Um, Craig says the IKEA stuff looks great, just so they just look so big. Yeah, it'd be good to check it out. Oh, Michael says IKEA water sensors usually always show unresponsive in Apple Home. Maybe they don't send the signal updates that frequently, but every time I've tested it, they beep and I get the notification on my phone. Okay, thank you for sharing. So Michael H has tried them already. Oh, and Keenan says the IKEA water sensors has already saved me too. Nice that it has the alarm built in. Nice. Yep, that's a good point there. Bigger can sometimes be better. AAA batteries instead of watch batteries. Yep, that can be nice. So it probably has pretty good battery life. Yeah, there's another brand, the Third Reality. They have one recently. I'm trying to see if I can. They have a new one. They've got their Zigbee ones, and then they have a new one that connects. I believe it's Matter, and I don't see the website. I'm trying to find it. Wonder. I don't know if it came out yet. They sent me some recently, but I think the main base connects over Wi-Fi to. It's like an alarm basically, and it's sort of a bridge for the water sensors. You can connect up to 10 long range water sensors to that one, and it's from Third Reality. I kind of want to try that one and see how that is. I kind of like the idea of that, and I just recommend definitely getting water sensors, any water sensors. It doesn't matter what brand you use. I mean, as long as they work well, they have saved me so many times, and I can't count the number of people who have shared stories with me that they have saved them as well. So do a video on the IKEA stuff. Okay. Yeah, Lurk Jerk. Yeah, I think IKEA stuff traditionally has been Zigbee, but it looks like all their new Matter stuff is all Thread based. I think they even have a couple of lights now that support Thread. So um, oh, okay. 100 interests says I have 8 IKEA water sensors. They're actually really small. Cool. All right. Maybe I'll have to make a trip. The question is, I've seen people who have shared like the availability on the store, in store, and online. Sometimes is kind of hit or miss. So I don't know, but it might be fun to take a little trip. I'd like to go see what they have in store um, available. Yeah, the Zigbee ones work with the IKEA hub. That's right. Yeah, Yolink, John K. Wolf, Yolink has some good ones too. No Matter support, I don't think, on the Yolink stuff, but I've heard good things about Yolink as well. Cam CG says IKEA Thread stuff is good. They sell out fast. Yeah, I've heard that. And then again, they're just so affordable. Like their button is what, like $7 or something crazy like that, a little smart button. So the problem I find with a lot of people is that Thread is there's a lot of factors that can really affect performance in your smart home when it comes to Thread, and people may have just the wrong settings or something like that in their router or in their net on their network and not know any different and have all these issues with Thread products. And that's what worries me a little bit as far as Thread goes right now. I'm excited about Thread and I think it's definitely heading the right direction, but I still see those kinds of issues fairly often. Andrew says some IKEA Thread stuff doesn't play well yet with HomeKit. Air quality sensors don't send temperature data to HomeKit. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And you got to wonder too, is that a Matter issue, or is that an Apple issue, or is it an IKEA issue? There's just so many factors with new standards like that. All right, let's see if we got some more questions here. Answered that one. I appreciate your patience too. If you asked a question earlier, I'm trying to get to as many as I can. Question was from Jewel35H, says FP300 sensors. I use them for just triggering Lutron lights at night. Sometimes they work fine, other times they don't trigger. Is there a difference between connecting them via Zigbee versus Matter? So it's the protocol would be Zigbee versus Thread. So you can connect them directly, through Matter, through Thread and Matter. This stuff gets so confusing, I feel like. There is some differences. You have more features and more controls and stuff when you're connecting it through Zigbee. I'm not sure, you didn't specify which way you connected yours. I like to, again, I've said it kind of before here in this stream, like I kind of prefer Zigbee stuff a lot of times just because it's just been more rock solid in my house. And especially with the Aqara stuff, I like and use so much Aqara stuff already, and I have Aqara hubs. So usually when I get one of those newer products from Aqara that support both Thread or Zigbee, I'll usually pretty much almost always connect it over Zigbee. For one, you get more features, typically more settings and stuff than going just, Matter over Thread. So that's nice. And then again, Zigbee just works really well. So there could be some differences there. I would say if you have an Aqara hub, if you haven't tried it in Zigbee, give it a shot. Try that out and see if it works better. I'm not sure how you've connected yours, but I'm using the Aqara FP300 also. I only have one of them right now. I wish I got more of them. They should be back in stock pretty soon, but it's been working really well for me. So R Lanes, what's going on, man? Says, did you say you're going to do an updated Tailwind review? I would like to try out their new one, the Tailwind garage door opener. I'm a big fan of the Tailwind, the original one that I have. They released their new version 2. At the moment, I don't have any plans to. I don't have one right now, so I don't have any plans to. I would like to try it out. Let me see. I know for a while it was on back order, I think. So this is their new updated one, the IQ 2.0. And it looks like it is. You can purchase it now. So I don't know, maybe I'll get one and try it out. I've heard good things. I also just redid my garage. I was thinking about maybe getting a different garage door controller, but I don't think I'm going to do that right now. It would be nice, but I'll probably just keep using the one I have now. So yeah, I'd like to give it a try. It's one of those things where it's like I kind of hate messing with it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I have the original one. It still works really well, but I've heard really good things about this new updated one. So I might just get one for a video and test it out if that's something you guys want to see. All right, let's see. Let's get to some more questions here while we can. Any news from Aqara at CES on the smart display for the US market? Yeah, so what was the name of that one? You guys remember the name of it? They have so many. Is it the S1? Yeah, this one probably. I think this is the one. So last year at CES, they had this on display, which, you know, CES is in the US, so usually they have stuff kind of the S1. Yes, thank you, Lone Star Trent. So I think this is available now already in the EU. Uh, when I did ask specifically about this, and there's nothing official out there that they have said or released as far as I'm aware. But when I asked about it, I kind of got the sort of, how do I explain it? Just the kind of like, you know, kind of answer like they don't really know if it's going to come. I don't know if there is some issues with like regulations or certifications or what with this type of device. So I was not very confident after that conversation that it is going to be coming anytime soon. I could be totally wrong, and maybe it'll come out next month. That would be awesome. I was pretty excited to see this last year when they were displaying it. It never came out last year, and so that kind of, you know, doesn't give me the best vibe there since it did come out in the EU. And after after hearing the reaction that I got from them about it at CES, I wouldn't be surprised if it just doesn't come out in the US. They do have the H2, I forget the name of it, but the little switch. It has a little tiny screen on it. I showed that in my CES video, I believe. That's supposed to be coming very soon, but it's just a little tiny screen, not the big panel like this. So yeah, I don't really have anything else. Again, there's nothing official that they've said, but just based off of my conversations with them, just wasn't feeling too good about that. Palma Kit, what's going on, man? It says the SH1 hub is an expensive Android tablet, not very easy to use and configure. So maybe that's why it hasn't come out. Maybe it hasn't received the best feedback. Are you using one? Yeah, isn't it better to just use an iPad? I mean, I use an iPad, works well. Yeah, I think Aqara and a lot of these companies are trying to be kind of your primary Matter smart home controller, sort of, and want you to kind of port your devices, I think, into their ecosystem. And that concept makes sense with a product like this. You know, you have to get your Matter accessories into the Aqara ecosystem probably to use a panel hub like that, I assume. So that kind of makes sense if they're trying to go that route. And yeah, of course, like you said, with an iPad, you can just use the home app, or you can kind of do whatever you want with an iPad. That's what I use. I really want to see Apple make a hub with the screen. That would be the solution to all of our problems, maybe. But yeah, I just use an iPad right now. Another company that showed one off, let's see, I saw an article somewhere. I showed it in my CES video also, but surprisingly, where's that article at? I know I saw one somewhere. Here, I think it was in this article here. Maybe I can get a photo for you. Nope, it's not that one. I'll find it. Hold on. GE Lighting of all companies, which kind of surprised me, showed off a little panel switch with a display. Of course, I can't find it anywhere, but it's in my CES video. But it's not as big as the Aqara one. It's kind of more the size of like a regular light switch, about that tall. But they've got one coming out. We'll probably see more stuff like that. I don't know, with Matter, you know. Oh, okay, Palma Kit, cool. Thank you. It says, yes, I've got one. Works fine with the car stuff. You need an M3 Matter controller to add third-party Matter devices, but you can still add Siri to it. Yeah, so that's another thing too, is you can use Siri on it. So that's cool. Kind of like I expected, you need an M3 Matter controller, so you have to connect your Matter accessories to the Aqara app or to the Aqara Matter controller. your M3 hub in order to get those on there. So yeah, that kind of makes sense. Again, Apple Home Hub. Come on, where are you at? Oh, Hunter. Thank you. Was it Hunter? I'm sorry, I said GE. That's probably why I couldn't find it. Thank you, JCM. That's right. It was Hunter. Yeah, because they make the fans. That's right. Not GE. Hunter has the wall display. Maybe I can find it now. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. I think it will probably be kind of the same. Probably kind of the same concept, you know, to set it up. You know, you'll probably have to use their app. I don't know. That's kind of how a lot of these things work. All right, let me answer a few more questions here. Keenan says, what are your thoughts on the Third Reality Linux box? Since Control for HomeKit paywalled their hub mode, I've been looking at Homey as an upgrade. Should I take the Home Assistant plunge? Yeah, I mean, I am excited anytime I see a company or any kind of solution that is making things easier on the end consumer. So the whole concept behind the Third Reality Linux box, I know that there is a website. Yeah, here it is. Oh gosh. Oh, their website is under maintenance right now. Okay. Is it on Amazon? Oh, it's actually on Amazon right now. It might sell out after this. So the Third Reality Linux box, it comes with Home Assistant. I think this is the same one right here. But it comes with Home Assistant pre-configured on there. So they're basically making this for, you know, the less technical savvy people who just want something kind of more plug and play. Nothing Home Assistant is ever truly plug and play, I don't think. I mean, they've gotten very close with certain things like Home Assistant green and yellow and stuff. This is nice. It's got Zigbee, Matter support, and Thread and Wi-Fi built in already, which is really nice. And again, Home Assistant pre-configured. So I'm always a fan when you have these solutions that are just making it easier for people to get started. So I'm happy to see that. I actually do want to try this out and just see kind of how easy it is. You ask if you should take the Home Assistant plunge. I think, a solution like that under $100 really makes it's a compelling argument. You know, Homey, especially if you get something like Homey Pro, you're going to pay at least double that. You know, you can get the Homey Pro Mini for I think about $200, and then the Homey Pro, you know, the main one, the big one, for like $400. So it's definitely a big price difference there. So price could be a factor. If you don't mind tinkering and stuff like that, I would say give Home Assistant a shot and see what you can do with it. I am a really big fan of Homey for automations and stuff like that. It's just a really beautiful user interface. It's really easy to use. That said, I do still use Home Assistant also for mainly I'm using it for device compatibility. So there are still just some things that I can't connect in HomeKit or Homey, and I'll use Home Assistant for that. So I kind of use a little bit of everything, but I'd say if you're not afraid to tinker a little bit, and you can do it at a lower cost, and especially if budget is kind of a factor, you want to do it without spending too much money, definitely try Home Assistant, and then maybe you can get something like this Third Reality box to make it a little bit easier to set up. I'd say give it a shot. Lurk Jerk, you got the Home Assist, you got the links. The Lincoln Link box for Home Assistant. Okay, yeah, so that's a different brand that makes, I guess, something similar. I guess it's kind of the same concept, right? I have not used that one. I'm not super familiar with it, but I think it's pretty much the same kind of concept. SeaWorld with Chris says, I would not touch a Home Assistant box because you'll outgrow it, and then troubleshooting will be a pain. What do you mean by outgrowing it? Do you mean capabilities and the specs of the specific box? Is that what you mean by outgrow it? Yep, that's a good point too. Alert Jerk says you can now try the home server version of Homey, so you can install Homey on your own uh, hardware if you have something, computer or something like that that you can install it on. I think you can even install it in like Docker containers and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot more capability now. You don't have to buy Homey Pro or Homey Pro Mini. You can install it on your own hardware now, which is a new thing. I think there's still a little cost for that, but it's way cheaper than buying Homey, I think. Yeah, I think the Homey home, whatever they're calling that, self whatever, I think that is a subscription. It's not super expensive, but I think it is a subscription. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so Fred Herbert says the Lincoln Link box was not too bad. Prefer running it a different way. Nice thing is that it has hacks installed. Yeah, so hacks is that's nice that it has that already installed on there. And these are like the things that once you start going down the Home Assistant road, it just never ends. It never ends. Then you realize what hacks is, and then you got to install that a lot of times. So um, yeah, it's a it's a whole rabbit hole. All right, let's do another question. I have no present sensors yet. Ricardo asked, but I'm looking for getting a minimum of two for bathroom automations. Is the FP300 the one to buy? Can't find it ever available for purchase. It is, yeah, I would say it's my favorite present sensor that I've used so far. I've used a few different present sensors. It is a awesome sensor. Um, it's not a bit. It hasn't been available because it's been sold out. So I I don't know if they just underestimated how popular it would be. I think that was the case. Like that thing sold out quick. I think it was like a week or so. I mean, it was extremely popular, and it's been my favorite. I was told recently that by early February they should be available again. So if you want to hold out, they should be available again. I would say definitely by the middle of February at the latest, based on the last information that I was given. So should be soon, hopefully sooner, maybe by the end of January, but at least by like February 10th or something around that area, they should have them available again. I was also told that they'll give me another discount code, so I'll keep checking in on that. And once it's available again, I'll hopefully get a discount code, and I will definitely share it, on my Instagram account, and maybe I'll make a post or something on YouTube as well, and try to share that because I know a lot of people have been waiting and looking. I actually would like to get a couple more myself because I just have the one that I've been using. But yeah, it's been my favorite. But we're definitely seeing some more present sensors come out. Third Reality actually, they gave me one. Yeah, I think I have one over there. So Third Reality has a couple of new millimeter wave presence sensors. One of them has a nightlight built into it. Really cool stuff. So we've got more battery powered ones coming soon. So hopefully more options for good present sensors in the near future. With that said, y'all, it has been, we ran over a little bit today. I appreciate you guys hanging out. If I didn't get to your question, tune in next week. I'll try to answer as many as I can. Also, you can hit me up over on Instagram. I try to respond as much as I can on Instagram as well. And if you are a channel member, definitely head over to the Discord server. You can tag me over in Discord, or you can DM me over there as well. And I always respond in Discord, and I'm in there every day. So definitely check out the Discord server if you are a channel member. Also, Instagram. I'm probably most active on Instagram outside of YouTube. And check out the new podcast if you want to see kind of behind the scenes and me and my wife rambling and ranting about smart home automations a lot. I appreciate you guys for hanging out. Stay tuned for more videos and live streams right here every week. Thank you guys, and God bless.